Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Ghosts and Spirits podcast. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk about a whole new series of videos here, again, based on your suggestions. I was going to wait to start until the end of the weekend, but some of the stuff that y'all are suggesting this time around was very, very interesting, so I wanted to go ahead and start sharing with everybody here. This first series, this first video here, is actually a group of spirits that are very reminiscent with one another. Originally, I wanted to talk about that ghost that someone had suggested. There was like a giant ghost of some sort in Thailand that was caught on film. And I looked up the information and I saw the video. Unfortunately, it's very, very brief information, like really nothing other than one sighting. And so I'm going to save it for later on. I might talk about it in a form of a mixtape of sorts. But in looking at that information, it brought me to these two spirits that are very fascinating. This is the kind of stuff that I love, much like my Cryptids and Monsters series, where I look up stuff and I find so much really good information to share. I wanted to go ahead and do the same here, and so it was quite fascinating to come across something that is so rich in information. And it has to do with two other spirits found in Thailand that are pretty much the same, if but for the fact that they look just slightly different from one another. And it has to do with one spirit that's called the Tani, and then another spirit that's called the Ta-khian. I hope I'm saying the names right, but that's how they sound phonetically. And basically, they're both ladies of Tani, or in some cases, they're called ladies of the trees, because of the fact that they inhabit very important trees there in Thailand. And the information I'm going to share here, I hope you find it as interesting as I did when I was looking up everything to showcase. So first off, these two spirits, they're both tied to very specific trees. The Nong Tani, in particular, is tied to a wild banana tree, so I'll talk about her first. She seems to be a good spirit of sorts in that she doesn't really hurt anybody. She doesn't really harm anybody. She's not malevolent or evil-natured. She's basically a good spirit that happens to inhabit one of their popular wild banana trees. The official name of that tree is called the Musa balbisiani, which you'll see a picture of here. And this particular banana tree, it's so, I guess, sacred to them that whenever anyone comes across this tree, there are several things that people take place. They want to make sure that these trees are never cut because it's considered a bad omen to do so. And there is also offerings made to the tree, which in turn is made to the Nong Tani. And the best way to recognize a particular banana tree that is, let's say, truly associated with the Nong Tani, i.e. it's believed that yes, because there's a bunch of banana trees there, but the ones that are truly, people think are truly associated with the actual spirit, where that spirit really lives in that particular tree, then they tie a colored satin cloth of some sort right to the tree itself. And then that way people know 100% if they're looking in a field of banana trees, this is the one that she happens to inhabit. And this is what she looks like. She's supposed to be a very beautiful young woman who wears a green Thai costume. So she wears the clothing there that's associated with that area. She actually has a greenish hue as well. It seems like her skin is green. Her hair may be like a really dark green of sorts. Her complexion overall, in other words, matches to the tree itself. And when people see her next to the banana trees, she's there floating right next to the tree. That's very important because her feet are actually not touching the ground. Instead, she's hovering slightly right above it. And in some cases, the lower part of her body seems to be what's considered immaterial. Like maybe it's like, in other words, because she's floating, the bottom part of her body may be transparent, so people can see the top part of her body but not necessarily the bottom part. In fact, it's been described as being like a wisp emanating from some kind of tree trunk. And she generally is cited as having some kind of gentle disposition. In other words, she's nice. She's not somebody that a spirit again that's going to be out to harm people. In particular, she has a particular, I guess, affinity towards Buddhist monks. And so whenever any one of those Buddhist monks pass by, it's been known for her to appear right in front of them and to also offer food. So with all the information as far as these banana trees and the sacredness associated with them, the people that live there in Thailand, if they know that they're going to build some new homes and they happen to be around some of these banana trees, then the people there prefer not to be near them. They'll actually make their homes somewhere away from it. And this is so that the fact that even though these spirits, these Nangtanis are nice and they're not supposed to be bad to people, they really don't want to risk the chance still of doing anything to offend these spirits. By the way, these banana trees also, even though they produce some type of fruit, it's not edible. In fact, it's recommended not to eat those particular trees, let alone cut them down. But you can actually take the leaves of those trees and use them to create some kind of, I guess, inflorescence, something like a medicine of some sort that's used to treat ulcers. Apparently that is a-okay to do from the Nong Tani, as long as you, I guess, ask permission and you ensure that that you use it just for that purpose only, then everything is good. About the only time that the Nong Tani is known to create any kind of harm is if someone, and let's say men in particular, come around a banana tree. Maybe they know that she's there, maybe they know that she's not, who knows, but if they come across the banana tree and then she senses that this is a bad man, like this is somebody especially who harms women or does very bad things to women, then that's when she tends to do harm to them. How she does it, I don't know, but that's apparently what she does. But yeah, that's the legend of the Nong Tani, who is again associated with the very popular wild banana trees there in Thailand. Now, her very reminiscent other cousin, I guess like a spirit of some sort, is called the Nong Ta-khian, which you'll see a picture of here. Again, very, very similar looking. She too is a spirit that manifests itself outside of a different tree. This one is called the Hopia odorata, which you'll see a picture of here. And this is a much more different tree, a very large tree. The banana trees are so and so in size, manageable. These other trees are immense. In fact, you'll be seeing like a picture up here in a minute to show the relative size of it. I mean, they are humongous, and very much so like the Nong Tani, this other spirit, the Nong Ta-khian, also inhabits that tree. She too appears as a very beautiful young woman. Also, she wears those traditional Thailand attires commonly associated with the young women there. The big difference though is instead of having a greenish hue with her complexion, the Nong Ta-khian seems to have a reddish or brownish hue. And this goes again in matching with the tree itself, because the tree tends to have a much more brownish hue than anything involving the banana tree. And with her inhabiting those trees, it's also forbidden to try to cut them down to use the wood itself. In fact, the people there, some of them believe it, some of them don't. Those that do believe cutting down the trees is harmful, they too will tie like a set of silk off, some kind of cloth or some kind of silk item right next to the tree or around the tree itself, particularly towards the trunk, to ensure that anyone that's walking by knows that, hey, this tree is special. This is a tree that houses the Nong Ta-khian. Do not do anything to it. But those that still cut the tree down to use it for wood, whether it's for firewood or whether it's built to their homes, is considered a big no-no, because unless you very specifically ask for permission from the Nong Ta-khian to do so and are given permission by her, if you still do it without that permission, then she reportedly haunts anything that wood is associated with later on. So if that wood is used to, let's say, build a porch on the home, or it's used for firewood, she will follow that particular set of wood and then she will haunt that area until I guess she's appeased. How she's appeased, I don't know, but that's the legend that goes with it. And in fact, you're looking at a picture here that showcases offerings made to this tree, because this was a stump of the Hopia odorata, and it was presumed that this was actually a tree that housed the Ta-khian. So when that happened, whoever cut it down, they either asked permission or didn't, but the tree stump is still there, and that showcases that this was a big no-no. So people are trying to appease that spirit by placing those offerings and ensuring that she does not create any kind of harm. As far as the one exception is anyone that is a Buddhist monk, yet again following the theme from the other spirit, anyone who is a Buddhist monk does have permission to use the lumber from that tree for whatever purpose. Apparently they are the only ones that get a pass with it. And then with the Ta-khian, she's also very, very nice to people. If you are somebody that's good and righteous in nature, then you have absolutely nothing to fear from her. Whether she appears in front of you or not, you are a-okay. You have no problems with her. But she will apparently hurt anybody that's considered wicked or immoral that come across her particular location. So how she recognizes this, it's presumed that she's able to just see into people and then realize how good or bad they are. And the bad ones, then they're going to have problems with her altogether. But yeah, that's the information at least with her, the Ta-khian. Again, very, very similar to the Tani. And then those are the two spirits, the ladies of the trees, that in Thailand seem to have a very popular following. So what do you guys think? These particular spirits, very fascinating stuff. I love it when I see information like this where real life locations, real life places, in some cases real life objects, people can point and say, this is where the ghost lives. And so I love seeing that, because if one truly believes it, and let's say it is absolutely true, then it's quite fascinating to realize that when you're looking at, let's say, that tree stump that was cut down, that was a ghost's or a spirit's home, that was their real location. Quite fascinating to think that whenever, again, if you're like me in the world of science, to think that would just blow everything away, and to think that people really truly do believe that by offering things, by making sure that they wrap things around it. And it's just wonderful that the way that this information is found and shared with everybody. So I'm glad I was able to find it here. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.